Okay, so a couple people have been asking me to do a video demoing this program, and I'm not the best at doing videos, so bear with me. So this is the Mine Colonies integration with AE2. You see that most of my racks are empty right now. I just got done putting everything in a chest, in the ME network. This is normally a survival world, but for this video I'm just going to hop in creative real quick. We're just going to throw down a project. Right here looks good. Something big. Sure. Market, why not? Let's take a peek. Yep, market's big enough. Alright. We're just gonna end up removing this from the map anyways. Assign to builder. Alright. So now that that's queued up, let's go take a peek at running the program. Excuse the mess. Alright, so actually before we do that, let me show you the startup. So normally the startup, I normally have to wait 60 seconds because ComputerCraft loads before Mine Colonies on a computer reboot. And if your ComputerCraft runs before Mine Colonies, this program will crash. If it does, you can just reboot it. I find waiting 60 seconds is more than enough. I have it commented out right now for the sake of video speed. I also have it sending, it's waiting every 30 seconds to do its pulls, sending information it needs to handheld 9, and of course my username for the chat box beneath it. So, setup we have here, we have the ComputerCraft with the ME bridge, the warehouse with a storage bus on it, colony and a Gradle so that we can get information from the pools, and a chat box so that I can know if it needs stuff without being here. Alright, so see we have no open request. Let's make sure we have a builder that's actually signed there real quick. I will be right back once I have people actually requesting things. Okay, and we're back, and as you can see we need a few things now. We actually have requirements. I also, for the sake of making sure I didn't have something, went over here and requested a stack, 10 I believe, of air vents over in this one. Yep. Sorry, some of my buildings are stacked on top of each other. So we're requesting 10 stacks of vents. So what you can see here is that we now have requests coming through, and on the personal computer I can see that we have 2 requests that we are not able to fill. We need 9 blue wool and 64 vents. And here every couple seconds, yep, there it is. AP, that's the command block document, not command block, the chat box, saying items are needed for the network. And that's my cue to check here. Now you could also keep your clipboard on you, but this will also show things like in the dial that is already being processed that does not require me to get involved. However, we won't have those vents, but let's see what we can do about the 9 blue wool. So we'll hop down here real quick. And you'll just revisit this because I hadn't used this in a while. I forgot this thing needed a Endo modem to use the laptop, so we just slapped that on real quick. I don't normally use the handheld anymore. So if you were looking at the video and you notice the cables moved, it was to make room for that modem. Alright, so now we need blue wool. Let's do that. Normally I would teach my dial to handle this, but for the sake of showing it, we'll take blue wool, we'll throw it back in the network. And then, here in about 40 seconds, the blue wool should come off of the tablet, leaving us with just the vents and anything new that is requested. Let's see how that market's coming along. Items are still needed. And as you can see now, it's just the vents that are needed. The blue wool is no longer on here. Now we'll leave the vents on there for now. I have no intentions of making those vents. Okay, the form isn't, the market's not coming along all that great. I'm sure they're getting to it. Alright, so then let's show something practical. Items needed. Ah, perfect. We need more blue wool, probably for that. So, in an ideal situation, this is when you would teach it to your guys to build. Now, something interesting here. So, it says we need 13 blue wool. And as you can see, we have some blue wool. We have 11. This program won't do partials. So if it needs 13, it will pull 13. Actually, it looks like we have them in different spots too. Just gonna pull all the blue wool together. That blue wool doesn't stack. Interesting. Not something I was prepared to run into today. But yeah, so as you can see, we have 12 or 11, depending on which blue wool we're looking at. But we need 13. So we will only ever pull in total quantities. So I put a stack of 64 in there now. Items needed. So we just missed that 30-second cutoff. Now that 30 seconds could be 5 seconds, it could be 10 seconds, it could be an hour. It depends on how often you want your computer cycling. I do a lot with computer craft, so sometimes I have other programs running, so I try not to spam it. Now, there's also a bunch of people asking me about how to... Yep, there it goes. Items have been transferred out. You see we transferred items, problem solved. Now, a couple people have been asking me about... this worker section here. So this is designed to push items directly to the workers. It was designed with Endo Chest in mind, not the vanilla one, but the modded one. Unfortunately, this pack does not have Endo Chest, so I currently do not have this set up. But effectively, from the position of your computer, you tell it left, right, front, wherever, and it will put items out of the network into that chest. And then ideally, you have that chest just piped directly into your builders. And then the XYZ coordinates. Let me just go ahead and reboot this. The XYZ coordinates belong to the actual building block of your builders. So for mine, it would be here. So let's look. 892 by 74 by 1076. Remember, it's going to be the block underneath you, not the block you're standing on. And it's about that simple. And then I would put an endo chest down here and some type of piping network to give them the stuff directly. Now, when using that mode, which I currently cannot demo because I don't have endo chest, I do have a 2-minute delay built in to the work order. Because what happens, and I'll show you real quick. As soon as I find it. Right here, this waiting 2 minutes. So what happens is, when they finish a job, they don't create the listed resource for the next job for about 30 seconds to a minute. They have to physically get back to the workstation and start the job in order for that list to be created. So to allow it time, we just pause the whole system for 2 minutes. It sounds like a lot, but it saves a lot of time in the long run. And 2 minutes is about the sweet spot. You can technically get away with changing this to a minute, but if you have a worker walking far away from his house, he won't get that update. And all this does is it pushes all the completed components directly to them so that the couriers don't have to be running it back and forth from the warehouse. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just slap The warehouse there, ME bridge. The warehouse has a storage bus on it, omnidirectional, ME bridge, computer, integratable, chat box if you want it. If you don't have the chat box, it doesn't really change much. You just don't get the message that you've been seeing in the bottom left of my screen that the inventory needs items. And that's my way of knowing there's something I don't have in the network. So yeah, I hope this explains, which if it didn't, let me know. I'm not really good with videos, it's not my cup of tea. And yeah, hope that helps.